We are back, and I'm just going to have a nice quick stream today. Hopefully everything's working. Webcam has a tiny little insect has gotten in behind the glass. That's terribly unfortunate and quite distracting. Okay, so I've got to do a quick one today, so I'm just going to do what's this, level 3 part 4, and let's get right into it. Here's the mug that we made the other day.
Phase and random scale, add some random phase and random scale, add some color with an object info node connected to a color map, choose consistent, add some random sprinkle colors, connect to the color, and yummo, to think this could have been a 16-part tutorial series.
Slam dunk at the end there. To someone, I don't know who, can't be me, clearly, because mine was 12 parts, not 16, which is exactly as long as a donut tutorial should be. This tutorial series is brought to you by...
Very funny.
Make better renders
come on,
faster. Welcome to part 3 of level 3. Let's turn this cup into glass. So in render view mode, this is how our mug looks currently. And you know what? We are done with our reference photo. So I'm just going to drag this into my archive collection, which you'll remember is just like it's hidden, but I can access it later if I want to for whatever reason.
That's weird. Why can't I see the photo? You'd think that I'd be able to see it. Where is it? Like, seriously? That's actually confusing. Oh, this is the photo, right? Anyway, I should probably name these, like... How the hell do you spell saucer? And, teacup. Okay, right. I'm just going to wind him back and just, empty with it.
With our reference photo.
That's bizarre. Did I move the reference photo? Must have done. Have I lost my texture on my donut as well in that process? Turn these off. And I mean, that looks textured to me, so I have absolutely no idea. Anyway, seeing as we're about to delete it regardless, let's just delete. I said delete. Am I in the right mode? Overlay. Okay, so what if you turn off overlay? That goes away. That's bizarre. All right. Well, we'll delete it regardless because I think that's what we're doing.
Into my archive collection, which you'll remember is just like it's hidden. But
okay, we'll archive it.
And I'll also just bring back my plane just so that I can see everything. Okay, so this is how it looks currently. And if we go to the material panel, you'll see that there's actually no material added to it. It's the exact, like if you just add a new material, it's the exact, these settings here are what every new object will have applied to it by default if you don't change any settings. So anyway, this is what our material looks like currently. If you want to make it look like glass, the old way to do it in Blender was to use a glass shader. There is a glass shader here. But actually the principled shader is like, it's the master uber material which can do a whole range of things, including glass. So to make this look like glass, the only value in here you need to change is transmission. It's set to 0 by default. You turn that up to 1, it's now glass. That's it. That's basically it. It's frosted glass by default, but that's because there's a roughness set to 0.5, so if you turn that down to 0, it now looks like glass. Look at that, amazing. Now we want the plate to be glass as well, so if you want to copy the material...
Well, let's do that. We'll come down here, we add a new material, we want transmission to 1, and of course it pitches a fit because it's using Eevee, not cycles. Roughness down to 0. I'll just look at his settings so that I'm not wasting too much time rendering.
So if you want to copy a material from one to another.
Okay, you just set roughness to 0.
Glass. That's it. That's basically it. It's frosted glass by default, but that's because there's a roughness set to 0.5, so if you turn that down to 0, it now looks like glass. Look at that, amazing.
Okay, roughness 0, transmission 1. Okay, I guess I'll bite the bullet and run this through cycles. God, it's so slow. Alright, well, fact, let's view it through the camera. And it's lined up for the donut. Alright. I mean, they look pretty similar. Let's set that back to Eevee real quick and do this copy material thing.
Now we want the plate to be glass as well, so if you want to copy a material from one to another, it's a little convoluted, but basically you select the material without that you want to have the other material applied to, then shift select the material that you want to copy from, and then hit Control L and then select materials.
Okay, that's just confusing. Shift select that, Control L for make links with materials. Okay, so make links. I mean, could I have done that here? Alright, well, alright. I mean, I've got a rough idea how the linking system works in Blender from yonks back when it was sort of more user exposed in the really old versions where people, people complained about the UI, quite rightly so. Alright, let's carry on.
Yeah, it's not the easiest way to do it, but it's how you do it in Blender. Okay, so they've now got the same material, and we might as well just give it a name, call it glass, very original. And
good idea. I heartily agree. Let's call it glass.
yeah, it looks good, but you'll notice one little problem, and that is that if you look at like the plane in the background like that, the brightness of that plane, when it passes through the glass, it's a little bit dim. Like it's almost like there's some darkness being applied to it. And that's because by default, the base color of your material isn't pure white, it's slightly less than pure white. I don't know where 0.906 value came from by default. I'm sure there's a very good reason for that, but we want it to be 1, okay, because it's glass. And now you can see the difference between those, the pinkness of it, the brightness of it is identical going through the glass or out of the glass. So that's good. Okay, now it's probably also now a good time to like line everything up to make sure that yeah, it's resting on the surface. And actually, before we do that, we might as well parent our cup to our plate, which you remember we did for the icing and the donut. So select the cup, then the plate, then hit Control P, which is how you set a parent, and then hit Object, Keep Transform. And then
all right, let's switch back to Eevee so I don't lose my mind. And
when you do that, your donut, so select, yeah, it's resting on the surface. And actually, before we do that, we might as well parent our cup to our plate, which you remember we did for the icing and the donut. So select the cup, then the plate, then hit Control P, which is how you set a parent,
cup
and then hit Object,
plate,
Transform.
P,
And then when you do that, if you've just got the plate selected, everywhere you move the plate, the cup will go with it, which is good. Okay, so in solid view mode, what I want to do is just move this down until it's resting on the plane. Now, because this is glass, you're going to notice if it's clipping. Okay, so what you want to do is underneath your plane, just check that the plate isn't peeking through it. So just go underneath it, then hit G, then Z, and then just move it up until it completely disappears from underneath. And then you want to do the same thing for the cup, which is a little harder to do.
Well,
you have to get the camera.
let's make that happen. Where's my plane? I want the plane. It's there. Huh. I mean, is there a way to set it exactly? No. Good work, Blender. I mean, I'll try and line it up more or less correctly regardless. Okay, so it's there. And of course, you know, we're slightly below now, so so, okay, and then yeah, you can see it's like peeking through just the smidgenest of smidgens. So we move it up. Alright, that's sufficiently above, and I think I was very careful to do this with the saucer already, but we'll watch.
Camera, we have the view like right in between the front and back face of the plate. Very hard to do, but anyway, you get it in here, and then just hit G and Z to move it up along the Z axis until it just disappears from the view of the plate. And there we go. So now if we go into render view mode, we should.
Right, so let's cruise in here. Make sure I got the cup selected. Am I inside the saucer? I can barely tell. You know what? I think we're probably fine. Like, let's X-ray mode that. So there's you can see the loop that forms the inside base of the thing. And so it's about there, and the cup is up there. So it's more or less on this grid line, and the cup is way above it. Look, you know what? It's fine.
Couldn't see anything clipping. If you see like a dark circle or anything appearing here, that means that it's clipping, but it looks like ours is pretty good.
All right, well, we'll do that as another test. Just bring it back into cycles. I can't see anything. Like 8 samples is just not really enough to be useful. Maybe if I do a full render, we'll wait for this to render on very slowly. Well, oh god, my CPU is just sad.
So I'm just going to move my camera back. Whoops. So the camera was, previously focused just on the donut. But anyway, I'm going to hit G, then middle mouse button, and just drag, or yeah, just move the mouse back, and it will go there. And then I'm just going to rotate the plate so that the handle's on the right-hand side. So you do that by hitting G, then I'm just rotating on the Z axis, like that.
All right, I'm going to make an executive decision here, and basically looking at the middle here, it appears to be fine. So I'm going to decide that that is fine, and I'm going to switch back to Eevee. We can render with cycles later when we're, when we're nuts. Okay. Let's carry on with the tutorials. So this is the thing that I wanted from before, because he kind of skipped over this explanation the first time he said it, and that is, how do we move the camera around while we're in the camera?
Just on the donut. And there we go. So now if we go into render view mode, we shouldn't see anything clipping. If you see like a dark circle or anything appearing here, that means that it's clipping, but it looks like ours is pretty good. So I'm just going to move my camera back. Whoops. So the camera was, previously focused just on the donut. But anyway, I'm going to hit G, then middle mouse button, and just drag, or and it will go there.
Okay, G, middle mouse button. Okay, middle mouse button, and I can zoom it in and out. That's handy to know.
And then I'm just going to rotate the plate so that the handle's on the right-hand side. So you do that just by hitting G. Then I'm just rotating on the Z axis, like that. And there we go. All right, let's just move.
Did he say hit G? I think he meant hit R for rotate.
And let's go ahead and give it a render. So we got default samples at 128. Let's see how this looks. All right, we're coming to the end of it. I'm rendering on 2 GTX 1080 Ti's, so I know that not everyone has, cards as nice as this.
No,
it might take,
no, we do not.
20 minutes on your machine, I don't know. It's just one of the things of computer graphics, right? Like, the faster your hardware, the faster you're going to get a clean image at the other end. You can do it on pretty much, like, people have asked me, like, what's the minimum requirements to run Blender? Like, there's almost no minimum requirements. Like, it'll run on pretty much anything. It's just like, how soon do you want your render? So if you want to do 3D, like, long term, I would definitely recommend upgrading to a nicer graphics card. And there's actually a Blender benchmark where you can actually see, like, what are the stats of, like, different cards.
While he talks about how slow my computer is, let's render this with cycles.
So you can check that out. But anyways, this is how it looks, and it's pretty good. It's, yeah, that's how the glass is looking. So you can go more or less samples. I would probably, for like a final render, I would do like higher samples at around 200 or 300 or 500, who knows. But for this is fine. Now, we want to have the liquid in the glass because we've got time. We've got time to make the liquid. So in solid view mode, we could like add in a cylinder and then line it up with this, but like, why bother? We've got the cup here. We've got the wireframe, and what we can basically do is like reuse the geometry here and just like duplicate it and make it a new object, and that can be our liquid.
Makes sense.
100 ways you could make liquid in glass. You could even use the fluid simulator, which Blender comes with, but that would just be crazy expensive in terms of processing time for static liquid. So yeah, it's essentially, it's another object, and the object happens to fit the exact dimensions of the inside of the cup. So we're just going to duplicate the inside of the cup.
I mean, that's my cup. It's looking pretty good. I'm happy with that. Might even save that. Save as level 4 3 3 cup PNG. And yeah, I'd do the saving off on the other monitor just to avoid file systems leaking onto the internet. Other projects.
So okay, so this is this is hang on, solid view. Let's go X-ray mode, right? So you'll notice that there is the outside of the cup and the inside of the cup, and if you're not careful, you'll end up selecting the wrong part of it. So make sure that you are only selecting the inside. In fact, it can actually be helpful to switch to face select mode, and then just hold down Alt and then Shift, and then just select along here like this. And you should be able to get pretty well just the inside of the cup. And actually, I'm just going to switch to vertice mode just for this last bit, and I'm going to hit C, which is the circle select, which gives you like this, kind of like this brush, and then I can just select the bottom row of vertices there.
Okay, so selecting all of that. So what's that? Face, Alt, Shift, that. No. Something has gone horribly wrong. I think is the conclusion that we must reach here. Okay, help. That's a real good question. How do you select? How do you select that?
Right. So you'll notice that there is the outside of the cup and the inside of the cup, and if you're not careful, you'll end up selecting the wrong part of it. So make sure that you are only selecting the inside. In fact, it can actually be helpful to switch to face select mode, and then just hold down Alt and then Shift, and then just select along here like this. And you should be able to get
this is working pretty well for
just
me.
the inside of the cup. And actually, I'm just going to switch to vertice mode just for this last bit, and I'm going to hit C, which is the circle select, which gives you like this, kind of like this brush, and then I can just select the bottom row of vertices there. You could like go chick, 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 and do that one by one, but there's so much going on there, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to click the wrong thing. But yeah, anyway, that's it. So I've got the
That seems to have worked.
Just make sure that it is like, if you see like a lone one like that, right, like where it's not connected or something, like just make sure that you are only selecting the all the stuff that's inside it.
Something wrong, we can always
Shift D,
grab it,
duplicate. Now
after we do
connected
this.
to my cursor, so I just want to cancel that movement
Shift
by
D,
right-clicking or
right-click.
hitting Escape, and that will just bring it back to where it's duplicated from. Then you're going to hit P straight after that to separate it via selection to its own separate object. So now if I exit edit mode, you should see that we've got the cup, and then we've also got another object right in there. So they're like overlapping right now, and they're kind of like hard to click on each other. So if you go to your your outline over here underneath circle, I guess we should probably start renaming some of these. I've got plate.
I call that
I've got
T.
and then here, this new one is called liquid. And I might as well actually parent it to the cup. So I'm just going to Shift select on the cup, Control P, object, keep transform, and then now when I move the cup, the liquid will go with it, and when I move the plate, the cup and the liquid will go with it. So it's kind of like getting a hierarchy of
Okay, so
object
shift click
needs. I
that
don't know.
and
Okay, so the
What's
liquid
that?
is here. Yay. Okay.
Parent
so
to
if
object
we look at it in wireframe mode, this is what we got. Now, obviously, liquid should be closed, right? We want to have a flat plane along the top. So if I just hit F on here, it's going to do that, which is, you remember what we happened with the cup at the start, right? It's got this this madness going on. So what you want to do is hit.
Why can't I select things? Why? Something has gone horribly wrong. Oh, I'm in edit mode for the teacup still. Okay, there we go.
I, and that will create another, like an inset loop cut right there.
Alright,
Remember what we happened with the cup at the start, right? It's got this this madness going on. So what you want to do is hit I, and that will create another, like an inset loop cut right there to create, yeah, like a much more smoothed, less abrasive looking surface. Okay, now, it's important now, if we go to have a look at this, you'll notice if you look at the liquid, it looks a little weird. And let's hide.
All right, so let's, I feel like I missed the first step on that one.
Of object needs. I don't know. Okay, so the liquid is here. Yay. Okay, so it's if we look at it in wireframe mode, this is what we got.
Let me just shut my door. Hang on. Right. Continue.
Now, obviously, liquid should be closed, right? We want to have a flat plane on the top. So if I just hit F on here, it's going to do that, which is, you remember what we happened.
Okay.
The cup.
So tab that, alt click that F to make a face, I suppose. All right. And then, of course, we've got that problem that he's talking about there when we've got a liquid that for no reason looks like that. So, yeah, carry on.
At the start, right, it's got this, this
I
madness
can
going on.
fix that. We need an inset.
And that will create another, like an inset loop cut right there to create, yeah, like a much more smoothed, less abrasive looking surface. Okay, now, it's important now, if we go to have a look at this, you'll notice if you look at the liquid, it looks a little weird. And let's hide the cup, and let's hide the plate, just so that we can focus on it. Like, something's definitely going wrong here. And actually, the first time I was like making this coffee cup to, you know, make the tutorial result or whatever, like, it took me a while to actually figure out why my liquid was just, whatever I changed in the material settings, it just wasn't looking right. And that is that by default, if you go up here to your overlay section, doesn't matter, object mode or whatever, if you click on face orientation, you'll see that you get this red, right? If you're in face orientation and you see anything red, that means that your normals are facing the wrong way. Okay, so normals.
All right, that seems useful.
By default, if you go up here to your overlay section, doesn't matter.
Overlays. Oh, this is useful. Face orientation. And it's in red. You're quite right.
Mode or whatever. If you click on face orientation, you'll see that you get this red, right? If you're in face orientation and you see anything red, that means that your normals are facing the wrong way. Okay, so normals, like, so there are two sides to a mesh, right? Like
It's unsurprising based on how we copied that.
Yeah, they will both be rendered, but it's only designed to be viewed from one side. So there's a front facing and there's a back facing. Red is a back facing side. So what you need to do is in edit mode, select all your vertices by hitting A, then hit Shift N. Shift N will recalculate your normals, or if you just forget it in the future for whatever reason, you just type in normals, you'll see one there that says recalculate normals. So if you forget that, or you can get my shortcut PDF and you'll have that. You don't have to remember it. Shift N. Anyway, once you've done that, it's blue. Face orientation, render view mode, it'll now look like this, which you'll agree looks a lot better than what it was before.
I mean, I want to render that just for funsies and, you know, get rid of this overlay. You can see that it's sort of liquidy, but obviously not ideal. Where is this? Cycles. Let's turn the plane back on. We'll carry on.
Well, this is how it looked previously, that weird top there and looks like metal down there, and this is how it looks with recalculated normals, okay? So bring back the cup, bring back the plate, and before we, like in the next part, we're going to actually make this look, you know, with volumetrics, make it look like coffee, but just looking at liquid, like this is actually a problem a lot of beginners have, like, believe it or not, it's, I guess, a common thing beginners want to make is a cup of water or a cup of liquid, and you'll see that this liquid just doesn't look right. Like, it looks interesting, I guess, a whole bunch of refraction and stuff, but it doesn't look right because you've got glass, which is a solid glass object, and there's refraction rules, like it's applying physics refraction rules, and then you've got liquid, and then there's more refraction going on. And if you've got a gap between the glass and the liquid, it's now calculating index, it's calculating a different refraction for, like, it's essentially you've got, like, yeah, the glass, then you've got air, and then you've got glass again, and it's doing, like, this weird, like, thing where it's calculating different refraction rules on all of those, and you don't want that. Essentially, all you want to have is, like, if I can erase all of that at the same time, you want to have the glass here, and then this is the other side of the glass, and you actually want to cheat, which is obviously this isn't accurate to the real world, but you want to have the liquid actually on this side. So this is like the liquid here. You want to have it actually inside of the glass, like between these two walls. That's the front facing, and that's the inside of the glass. You want to have it actually intersecting the glass. So essentially what I mean is, just scale up the liquid ever so slightly. It's easier if you look at it in, say, let me hide that annotation there, in wireframe mode.
All right, we'll just pause that. I know what he's, well, I get the idea of what he's about to do. Oh, look at that. It looks awful. Let's switch back to that mode and turn my overlays back on. Get out of edit mode. Teacup, we got T. And then if we scale it, I'm going to
no.
just finish watching what he's doing.
Mode, X-ray mode. Okay. And then, yeah, you essentially just want to have it like this, right? So that's the liquid, that's the glass, and you can see it's between those, right? So just slightly peeking out. And when you do that, hang on. The surface tension, there's some weirdness going on there. In fact, actually, let's fix that because it's just going to look weird until we fix this. So the surface tension, the reason that you're getting like, yeah, it's like really rounded, we need to have another loop cut right here. So let's add Control R, add another loop cut right at the very tippy top, and now let's give that a render, and you should see this.
Okay, we'll do both of those things. Do this one first. Control R, loop cut there. You know, who says we don't want a meniscus? And then that's looking pretty good, and then we want to scale it up just a smudgen. Is that sufficient? I mean, it's not like I can render this very well, so it's going to be hard to tell. X-ray mode off. I mean, look, there's this boundary there. Oh, well, you can sit there rendering and destroying my CPU. I'm going to, in fact, reduce the number of threads down to 2. It'll make the render slower, but now I've actually got enough CPUs to stream.
Like that. There's a little bit of, if I hide the plane, then you can't see anything. Okay, just ignore this reflection that's going on the top there. But you can see the liquid now. Actually, it appears like liquid does, in a glass. It's like, it looks like the liquid is hugging the actual, the wall of that outer part of the glass there. And that's exactly how you want it to look. You want it to, be intersecting it ever so slightly. I don't know, I guess there's physics laws, and I'm sure we're cheating it by having it intersecting, but that's how you always create liquid. That's a better view. There we go. Okay, now, there's one other thing we're going to do before we jump to the next part of the series, and that is I just want to show you surface tension. Okay, if I just pull up here a reference photo of, everything's happening. Right here. It's kind of hard to see it from this photo, but I didn't have time to take a photo at home to really zoom in on it. But this is how it looks, right? So that's the glass there. This is the liquid. The liquid isn't actually, it's not just flat, it's actually going up like that. It's creating a ramp, and that's surface tension. So it's actually, the edge parts of it are kind of like sticking, like holding onto the edges like that, right? So we essentially want to have that, and that's like anytime you've got liquid in a glass, it's going to be doing that effect right there.
I'm going to have a look at my glass and see if he's telling the truth. I mean, I know that this is a thing, but it's been so long since I've done, high school chemistry where you actually cared about the meniscus. Oh, yeah, it does go down. All right, we'll take his word for it. Let's see what he's going to do.
And then with this big flat plane at the top.
Before we start, actually, this is looking pretty good. It's not bad. I guess it's like mercury or something that has the convex meniscus. Right, back into that mode. We'll leave it on cycles for now. Carry on.
Here. And let's go toggle X-ray mode. No, we need that. I'm just going to drag it down like that. Okay, so we've got that. And then I'm going to do another inset just to sharpen that a little bit. And then I want to make sure, so you can actually see here, I'm looking inside the glass right now. That curve is actually going too far in. So what I'm going to do is just select this, and I'm just going to, and that one there as well. That edge loop, yep. I'm just going to scale this in. You can actually see there's like a little faint line where it's intersecting. It's really hard to see. I apologize. Maybe a different a matte cap or something. Just trying to think how can I actually show this in an easy way. That's a little bit better, right? But then you can't see the wireframe. I guess there's a way to make the wireframe appear on top of it, but right now it's very annoying that the wireframe just keeps disappearing without X-ray mode, but then you can't see the surface very well. Yeah, anyway, scale this in, and this as well, I guess. Okay, there's people coming and going in this office. I don't know them. They don't work with me. I'm just in a shared office space. So as much as I'd like to say, hey, entire office, no noise, because I'm recording. I don't want to be that guy. So anyway, there you go. Okay, so there we go. You should have just a little bit of surface tension, right? In fact, you know what? I could probably do it even more. Just up that a little bit. Yeah.
All right, well, we'll let him carry that on there. I think I have enough knowledge of the shortcut keys and such to do this. So first we'll select that loop, and I suppose that's a face, so that's going to just be like that. We'll bring that in a bit so I've got something to work with. I think I was a bit aggressive when making these. I suppose there's really, now that I've made that loop cut, there's really no way to fix it, but that's fine. So we'll just grab that one, and then we shall move it up on the Z-axis. And maybe we'll scale it out a bit. And grab it again and move it up again. And now if I get rid of, you can see inside how much of that is actually inside the glass. So in fact we can probably be a little bit more aggressive about getting these things back inside. So scale that one in a bunch, and then this one, I can see that selecting there, so I can scale that one in a bunch as well. And then if we have a look in here, Look, maybe we actually need it to be a scale like that. So we'll go back inside, select that, and we'll scale it, because we've got plenty of room inside. We'll select this one and scale it as well. If I can get back into position, select U and scale U. Then we'll select this one again, we'll grab it, and we'll go up again. We'll scale again. And so that looks like it might be sufficient. As you can see, it's created that face issue there. So back into X-ray mode, can I select the right object? Edit. Select this one, scale it in a bit, and then inset, and then scale that down. So you can see it's making a little divot still, which is fine. And I suppose let's just render it with the slow thing while we continue watching the last few seconds.
Little ramp that goes all the way around it, right? So that's basically that little ramp there, whoop, up the top. Okay, so now in render view mode, it'll look like this. Which, you know, it's not a huge change, but it's little details like this that matter. So anyways, give this a quick render. And there we go, a glass of water in a fancy coffee cup. Yeah, anyways, so go ahead and join me in the next part, and we'll actually make this look like coffee with like tinted, yeah, actually look like real coffee. So see you in the next video.
All right, so
project pictures going on.
Okay, you can really tell how this was made, because you can see the fact that the liquid is intersecting over here. We'll turn off these overlays. So yeah, I want to bring the whole thing up so that, you know, it doesn't look so, I don't know, so much like that. So if I were to grab that and move that up on Z, I can actually get it somewhere, you know, that's looks like, you know, we're not stingy with our cup of coffee. Get inside there to check that all the vertices are back inside where we want them. All right. Aren't we generous? We've given them a bit more coffee. Cool. All right. I think that's going to be it for today's stream. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.